All right, welcome. It's another session of Motivation Mondays, and I'm with Janetta Cregwell-Graham, one of the founders of Waka Fitness. So, Janetta, what is the theme today?
So, Alan, I really enjoyed your interview with Pearl, one of our members last week, and I know she mentioned talking about sugars and how important that was in reducing those in her transformation process. So I just wanted to explain and talk a little bit about sugar and your diet, common myths, the dangers of having too much sugar. So, Alan, sugars are a form of carbohydrate, and I think we talked about that one other session in Motivation Mondays. There are many different types of sugars, as you rightly named. They're in all different types of foods. They're not just in the sweet foods that we typically think of, like cookies and cakes. And they're not just table sugar. A lot of sugars are found in, let's say, tomato sauce or low-fat salad dressing. All sorts of things, ketchup. Sugars these days is a common additive, especially high fructose syrup, is a common additive to a lot of heavily processed foods. So people would actually be surprised if they look at a lot of the ingredients of the food they eat, that it does contain quite a bit of sugar in them.
Okay, so now when it comes to sugar, because there's also different myths about sugar, is it true that, let's say, brown sugar is a better option versus white sugar? And, what do you have to say about that?
I think that most people like to think brown is better, just generally, but unfortunately that brown sugar is just slightly less processed than the white sugar. It's still a form of sugar, which is called sucrose, which will still, if overconsumed, will have these same effects. Another myth that I find that very many people in Rwanda have is about honey. And the assumption is that honey is natural, and so therefore it's better than table sugar. But that's absolutely incorrect. The way it's processed in our bodies is it's converted into the same type of sugar as normal white table sugar. And if it's overconsumed, just like normal white table sugar, it's just as bad for you. So you have to limit the honey, you have to limit the brown sugar, you have to limit all these types of sugars I'm talking about. So one thing to keep in mind is that distilling that fruit and turning it into a fruit juice is not the same thing as a fruit. It's always important. And actually, when you turn it into the fruit juice, it's almost the same thing as a soda. It has roughly the same, sugar contents and sugar quantities.
Why is that?
Because of the form of it's basically distilling the fructose. That's all that's left in that you've taken all the antioxidants and everything else regarding the packaging of the fruit out, and you've just distilled it down to a liquid form, which is mostly made of sugars. So I'm not saying completely cut it out, but there's simple ways with which we can, get rid of excess quantities of sugars in our diets. Staying away from sodas, staying away from fruit juices, generally trying not to use processed foods, things in packages, boxes, bottles, bags. I think I talk about this excessively, but the more fresh it is, the more it came from the farm to the table, the better it's going to be for you. Because what the food industry does is that they add sugars to make it taste better. And that's in all sorts of things, like I mentioned, ketchup. Hi, Allie. How are you doing? Okay, today we're going to work with the TRX. Have you ever seen one of these before? Okay, we like to use it in Waka because we believe in functional fitness, and it's a great way to get away from the machines and from the heavy weights and do something different. So I'm going to show you 3 exercises today that will help you get more fit. All right, let's do the first one. These until you feel like you've reached the maximum. It's great, good job. Now remember, keep your core nice and tight. The good thing about the TRX is that pretty much every exercise you do will work out your core. Nice and straight, and just go straight down. There you go. Great job.
Is it good?
Yes, it's very good. Have you started to feel it yet in here? Yeah. Okay, good job. All right. That's great. And remember to squeeze here. Great. And curl in so you get some work on your biceps. Great. Okay, I think you need a break. You're starting to sweat. That was really good, Allie. I hope you enjoyed working out with the TRX and it was fun.
Yes.
Yes.